Very good morning. You're watching Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha with the breakfast news. These are the headlines we are tracking this Monday morning. PDP to continue alliance with the BJP in Jammu and Kashmir but refuses to give deadline for government formation. Sushma Swaraj to meet Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today. Visit assumes significance in face of Netanyahu's possible visit to India later this year. Islamic State massacres dozens in Syrian city of Deir al-Zor. Syrian TV puts the number of those killed at 300. And Team India loses third ODI to Australia. Virat Kohli's turn goes in vain as hosts Australia clinched the series with an unassailable 3-0 lead. The big political news this morning. The PDP has dropped broad hints about continuing its alliance with the BJP. This came after a 5-hour-long marathon meeting on Sunday. The party's core group has authorized its president Mehbooba Mufti to take a final call on government formation. The party has not set any conditions for an alliance with the BJP, but has also refused to give any deadline, with Mehbooba Mufti saying she is in no hurry to take over as the chief minister.
मुफ्ती साहब की वफात के बाद जो सूरत हाल पैदा हो गई है रियासत में और हमारी पार्टी में, उसके ताल्लुक से कोई 4 घंटे हमारी गुफ्तगू हो गई, 5 घंटे, और सब लीडर्स ने अपना अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू दे दिया कि किस तरह से मुफ्ती साहब के विजन को आगे लिया जाए.
Positive signals coming from the PDP over forming a government in alliance with the BJP in Jammu and Kashmir. The party held 5-hour marathon meeting on Sunday at the residence of party chief Mehbooba Mufti. The party said it has not set any conditions for government formation with the BJP and praised NDA's effort in fostering better relations with Pakistan despite the Pathankot terror attack. However, it did not give any deadline for government formation. After the meet, the BJP expressed hope that the coalition will continue.
जो हमारा एजेंडा ऑफ अलायंस है वो हमारे लिए एक मुकद्दस दस्तावेज है. इट्स अ सेक्रेट डॉक्यूमेंट फॉर अस, और उसमें मुफ्ती साहब के होते हुए बहुत सारी प्रोग्रेस हो गई है, लेकिन आगे क्या करना है उसके लिए पार्टी ने पार्टी की सदर महबूबा मुफ्ती को ऑथराइज किया है कि वो जो भी इसमें डिसीजन लेना चाहें उसको उनको इख्तियार.
Meanwhile, National Conference patron Farooq Abdullah on Sunday called for dissolution of the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly and holding of fresh elections if the PDP and BJP fail to form a government. He also backtracked on his statement a day earlier that his National Conference was ready to discuss government formation if the BJP approached it.
मैंने कहा कि हुकूमत बनानी चाहिए पीडीपी को और बीजेपी को, क्योंकि इनको मैंडेट है, ये बनाए. जहाँ तक दूसरा सवाल उन्होंने किया, मैंने उसे कहा कि साहब कोई भी चीज़ जो है उस पर गौर कर सकती है वर्किंग कमेटी. कोई फैसला हम इस बार पे नहीं कर सकते, मगर हमारे पास मैंडेट नहीं है लोगों का.
There was uncertainty over the continuation of PDP-BJP alliance in Jammu and Kashmir after the death of Chief Minister Mufti Muhammad Saeed on the 7th of January. Presently, the state is under governor's rule. In the 87-member assembly, the PDP has 27 MLAs while the BJP has 25. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the latest on the GST bill now. Union Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu has criticized the Congress for its stand on the crucial reform bill. He said on Sunday that it was not fair on the Congress's part to set conditions for the passage of the bill, and if the said clauses were so crucial, the UPA could have brought these in the original bill when it was in power. He said that nobody was in agreement with the condition of putting cap on taxes. The Congress first raised the issue during the meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Congress President Sonia Gandhi and former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. The GST bill is stuck in the Rajya Sabha on account of the opposition raising several objections on it. The government has also expressed willingness to bring forward the budget session, although there is no decision on that yet.
He suggested if the Congress party is willing to support the GST bill. We can even think of preponing the budget session also. But nothing concrete has emerged since then.
Industrial production plunged to an over 4-year low, contracting 3.2% in November, while retail inflation inched up in December. These figures will set the tone of RBI's monetary policy review slated for next month. Dip in the industrial output has triggered worries of economic growth. Here's a report by our correspondent Kriti Mishra.
Only a month back, there was joy over a 9.8% jump in factory output in October, riding on the back of a 10.6% growth in the manufacturing sector. But it all changed as the figures for November came. Manufacturing production declined 4.4%, dragging down overall industrial production by 3.2%. Adding to the stress is the inflation data. The retail inflation measure and consumer price index rose 5.61% in December, mainly on costlier vegetables and cereals. Retail inflation has been on the rise for 5 consecutive months.
That is going to it's going to hurt the inflation. Again, the interest rates, which we are expecting from the RBI to come down, I think it may affect that.
Industry bodies have voiced concerns that investments are needed to push the economy on a higher growth trajectory.
The government is obviously concerned how to see that private investment comes in on the back of public investment. We are of the view that the excess capacity is built in by the private sector. Perhaps has come to a stage when they would now be coming to a full utilization very soon, and investment should come in. We see some early signs of that.
The government, however, has launched various initiatives to propel the manufacturing sector and reiterates its unflinching commitment to ensure ease of doing business.
Make in India is an initiative. It aims at changing the mindset of the government, both at the center and the state, and making sure that doing business shall be an easier affair. It is progressing well, as a result of which our position in the ease of doing business ranking has improved.
With the union budget scheduled to be unveiled on the 29th of February, expectations are high that the government may announce steps to boost economic growth. Experts say that strategy to focus on infrastructure development, agriculture sector, and restoring the health of the banking sector will help the government in achieving its economic goals. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal became the latest high-profile victim of an ink attack as he addressed a gathering on the success of the odd-even scheme yesterday. A young woman walked towards the dais and threw ink and some papers and a CD at the Chief Minister. She was immediately detained by the police. The ink attack has evoked strong reactions, with the Aam Aadmi Party calling it a BJP conspiracy and the Congress saying it was in poor taste. The BJP also condemned the incident while trashing Aam Aadmi Party's conspiracy charge. The incident prompted angry reactions from the Aam Aadmi Party. Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia slammed the Delhi police, calling the incident a major security lapse.
ऑड इवन जो था वो बहुत पॉजिटिव रहा इनका, लेकिन उसके पीछे बहुत बड़ा सीएनजी घोटाला था जिसका स्टिंग था मेरे पास में, जिसके लिए मैं मुख्यमंत्री से मिलने गई, गोपाल राय जी से मिलने गई। इन लोगों ने मुझसे मिलने को मना कर दिया और आज जब ऑड इवन का ये लोग क्रेडिट लेने गए, उन लोगों को बधाई देने गए, तो मैं जनता को यही दिखाना चाहती थी कि अगर ये देखो, अगर ये बाइक के नंबरों पे जेंडर टेस्टिंग के सर्टिफिकेट दे सकते हैं तो ये सीएनजी के स्टिकर पेट्रोल और डीजल की गाड़ियों पे भी लगा सकते हैं।
दिल्ली की पुलिस इस बात की चिंता ही नहीं कर रही है कि जहां पे हजारों लोग बैठे हुए हैं दिल्ली के, वहां पे कोई चेकिंग की जाए। उस पूरे कार्यक्रम में ना कोई चेकिंग हो रही थी, ना दिल्ली की पुलिस वहां कोई सिक्योरिटी के, पब्लिक सिक्योरिटी के इंतजाम देख रही थी। मुझे इसमें सीधे सीधे लगता है कि बीजेपी की साजिश है ये, और बीजेपी वाले कहीं ना कहीं इस तरह के मौकों का फायदा उठा के अरविंद केजरीवाल या दिल्ली की पूरी कैबिनेट के ऊपर हमला कराना चाहते हैं। ये हत्या भी करा सकते हैं लोग।
I was upset that some of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders started accusing BJP of orchestrating all this ink throwing and all. This is ridiculous actually. We will find out that how this lady has thrown ink at the Chief Minister.
So an incident that has triggered a major war of words between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party, and of course raised the political temperature in the national capital. Moving on, a look now at what all is expected to make news through the day in our segment, The Day Ahead. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will begin his two-day visit to Sikkim today. The Prime Minister will declare Sikkim as India's first fully organic state. Sikkim has converted around 75,000 hectares of agricultural land into sustainable cultivation. Prime Minister Modi will visit the Organic Horticulture Park at Ridge Park in Gangtok today and the Organic Agri-Produce at Saramsa on Tuesday. The second tranche of the sovereign gold bond scheme aimed at reducing demand for physical gold will open for the public today. The first tranche of the scheme, which was launched in November, had got a subscription for 915.95 kgs of gold amounting to 246 crore rupees. With an annual cap of 500 grams per person, bonds will be issued for 5 to 7 years. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal will chair a review meeting today to decide on the second phase of the odd-even scheme. At the meeting, the Delhi government is set to review the impact of the 15-day trial period of the vehicle rationing scheme. The government will also discuss other measures to make Delhi pollution-free. Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari will address a rally in poll-bound West Bengal's Dinajpur district today, after the party was denied permission to hold a rally in the riot-hit Malda. Senior BJP leaders Rajnath Singh, Smriti Irani and Amit Shah will also address rallies in the state this month. Bengal goes to polls in April-May this year. Time for a very short break here. Coming up next, world leaders welcome lifting of sanctions as Iran implements nuclear deal. More details on this report in just a bit. Don't go anywhere.
The splendid, grand and massive neo-Buddhist copper dome of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. It gets its influence from stupa at Sanchi. The dome is more than twice the height of the rest of the building. The reinforced concrete shell of the outer dome began to be formed during the beginning of 1929. The last stone of the dome was laid on April 6, 1929.
Welcome back. You're watching Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. News from the diplomatic front now. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj will meet Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today. Later, she will also call on the Israeli president and a host of other political leaders in the country. In the evening, she is scheduled to address the Indian expatriates in Israel. Yesterday, Sushma Swaraj was in Palestine, where she held meetings with President Mahmoud Abbas and her counterpart Riyad Maliki.
On day 2 of a maiden visit to West Asia, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj will call on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The two leaders are expected to review the entire gamut of Indo-Israeli relations, believed to be on the upswing since President Pranab Mukherjee's landmark visit to the country 3 months ago. Later in the evening, Sushma Swaraj will address the Indian diaspora in Israel.
प्रधानमंत्री बेंजामिन नेतन्याहू के साथ उनकी मुलाकात होगी और वार्ता होगी। उसके बाद वो राष्ट्रपति जो हैं इजराइल के, उनके ऊपर कॉल ऑन करेंगी और उसके पश्चात 3-4 कॉल ऑन्स विदेश मंत्री के ऊपर होंगे। जैसा कि एक इनके इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर मंत्री हैं, वो विदेश मंत्री के ऑनर में एक प्रीति भोज रखेंगे और उसके बाद इनके जो डिफेंस मिनिस्टर हैं, रक्षा मंत्री, वो विदेश मंत्री से मिलेंगे और इनके जो डिप्टी फॉरेन मिनिस्टर हैं, वो विदेश मंत्री से मिलेंगी। शाम को विदेश मंत्री जो भारतीय समुदाय है इजराइल में, उनको संबोधित करेंगे।
Sushma Swaraj's visit assumes significance in view of a possible visit by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to India later this year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi may also pay a return visit to Tel Aviv. India has been trying to expand its engagement in the country, which also happens to be its largest supplier of military hardware.
इजराइल की यात्रा के दौरान भी मुझे लग रहा है कि बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बातें होंगी। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, भारत और इजराइल के जो संबंध हैं बहुत प्रगाढ़ हैं और कई क्षेत्रों में इस समय विस्तृत हैं। डिफेंस की बात लोग करते हैं, लेकिन उसके अलावा जो साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, इनोवेशन, एग्रीकल्चर, इतने कई फील्ड्स हैं जिसमें भारत और इजराइल बहुत तेज़ी के साथ अपने संबंध जो हैं वो बढ़ा रहे हैं और मुझे उम्मीद है कि कल जो विदेश मंत्री की वार्ता होगी, जो चर्चाएं होंगी, उससे भारत इजराइल संबंध में और भी प्रगाढ़ता आएगी और भी वो सबल हो सकेंगे.
On Sunday, Sushma Swaraj visited the 800-year-old Indian hospice in Jerusalem. Earlier in the day, she was in Palestine, where she met Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and her counterpart Riyad al-Maliki. The meetings were aimed at reaffirming India's long-standing commitment to the Palestinian cause. She then inaugurated the India-Palestine Digital Learning and Innovation Center at Al-Quds University in Ramallah.
This is yet another example of India's commitment to help its brothers and sisters in Palestine. Friends, I am coming here after fruitful discussions with President Abbas and Foreign Minister Riyad al-Maliki on a wide range of bilateral, multilateral and regional issues. In my meetings, I was happy to see that we have shared views on all issues and there is great warmth in our friendship.
Concluding her day-long Palestine tour, Sushma also visited Bethlehem, the place where Jesus Christ was born. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
Moving on to Syria now, where Islamic State militants have killed dozens of people execution style in attacks on government-held areas in the city of Deir al-Zor. Syrian TV puts the number of those killed at 300. The massacre is said to have occurred in the village of Begalia in western Deir al-Zor. A majority of those killed were elderly, women and children. The Syrian cabinet has condemned the brutal and cowardly massacre that was committed. Syrian Prime Minister Wael al-Halki said the moral and legal responsibility for this cowardly massacre lies with all countries that support terrorism and those that fund and arm these groups that are against humanity as a whole. Pro-government fighters and their families are believed to be among those killed. However, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the militants killed only dozens of people. Islamic State groups is in control of most of the eastern province, while the government is holding parts of the city, including a military airport. Iran's president has said lifting of nuclear sanctions has opened a new chapter in its ties with the world. Sanctions were lifted after the international nuclear watchdog claimed Iran's compliance with the deal signed last year that prevents it from developing nuclear weapons. UN, US and EU sanctions have hit Iran hard for years, and now things look better not only for Iran but also brings in cheer for India.
مذاکرات هسته‌ای صورت گرفته که با هدایت رهبر معظم انقلاب پشتیبانی مردم و همراهی همه ارکان نظام به ثمر رسید حقیقتاً یکی از برگ‌های زرین تاریخ کشور است.
Iranian president hailing the nuclear deal with world powers as a golden page in the country's history. This as a number of international sanctions against the country were lifted, moments after International Atomic Energy Agency or the IAEA confirmed that Tehran has met its commitments to roll back its nuclear program under an agreement reached in July last year. Most Western governments hailed the move, but Israel accused Tehran of still seeking to build a nuclear bomb.
As Iran has fulfilled its commitments, today multilateral and national economic and financial sanctions related to Iran's nuclear program are lifted in accordance with the JCPOA.
Iran has undertaken significant steps that many, and I do mean many, people doubted would ever come to pass. And that should be recognized, even though the full measure of this achievement can only be realized by assuring continued full compliance in the coming years.
ישראל תמשיך לעקוב אחר כל הפרות בינלאומיות של איראן, כולל של הסכם הגרעין והסכם הטילים הבליסטיים והטרור. הקהילה הבינלאומית חייבת לנקוט בסנקציות חמורות ותקיפות על כל הפרה.
Meanwhile, in a possible sign of the thaw in US-Iran relations, Iran freed 4 American prisoners as part of a prisoner swap deal. Another American who was not a part of the exchange was also released. The US too offered clemency to 7 Iranians being held in the United States for sanctions violation.
we're very excited. We were very happy to hear Matt's voice today. We're thrilled that he's out of Iran, and we're just looking forward to seeing him.
The removal of restrictions on its oil, petrochemicals, banking, natural gas and port sectors will hugely benefit Iran and allow it to re-enter the global market. The removal of sanctions will also help India's plans in Iran, which include the Chabahar port, an Indian oil petrochemical plant and the proposed Iran-Pakistan-India gas pipeline. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
US President Barack Obama hailed the implementation of the landmark Iranian nuclear deal as a milestone, adding that every single path that Iran could have taken to build a nuclear bomb has been cut off. UN Chief Ban Ki-moon also welcomed the lifting of sanctions on Iran, saying the two countries should now cooperate on additional challenges to find a safer future. Listen in.
We've now cut off every single path that Iran could have used to build a bomb. Whereas it would have taken Iran 2 to 3 months to break out with enough material to rush to a bomb, we've now extended that breakout time to a year. And with the world's unprecedented inspections and access to Iran's program, we'll know if Iran ever tries to break out.
I commend the moves by the governments of both countries to improve ties. I hope that the parties now move to fully carry out joint comprehensive plan of action in good faith.
Der Tag ist historisch, weil wir in diesen 12-jährigen Verhandlungen, die nicht nur unterbrochen, sondern über lange Strecken auch abgebrochen waren, wieder aufgenommen worden sind, weil wir in diesen 12 Jahren oft genug auch am Rande eines Krieges standen.
Meanwhile, tension continues to prevail in Burkina Faso, where an Australian doctor and his wife have been kidnapped. It's still unclear if their abduction is related to Friday's Al-Qaeda attack in the capital, in which 28 people were killed. Burkina Faso is observing 72 hours of national mourning for the victims.
C'est la première fois que nous sommes confrontés à ce genre de situation. Donc il y avait une grande peur. Il y avait une grande peur au début et aussi à la fin, au moment où il y a eu l'intervention des forces françaises et américaines.
Victims of the Burkina Faso hotel siege recounting their ordeal, as the siege at the Splendid Hotel was declared over after a joint operation by local and French security forces. They were lucky. 28 people were killed and 56 others were injured after Islamist militants attacked the hotel in the capital. Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, or AQIM, claimed responsibility for the attack, which began Friday night. 4 attackers were killed.
Selon les informations dont nous disposons, il y aurait eu effectivement des femmes effectivement parmi les assaillants. Mais à l'heure où je vous parle, je ne suis pas en mesure de donner plus de précisions sur les identités.
Meanwhile, people in Burkina Faso are campaigning for the release of an Australian doctor and his wife who were kidnapped on the same day as the attack in the capital. However, it is unclear if their abduction is related to the attack. The couple were running a clinic in the town of Djibouti, which is near Mali border.
Une alerte générale a été donnée aux forces de défense et de sécurité dans la zone pour les retrouver et capturer les auteurs de cet enlèvement. Face à ces terroristes et à leurs actes ignobles, nous devons nous mobiliser pour apporter la riposte appropriée.
The gun attack on the Splendid Hotel bore similarities to the attack on the Radisson Blu Hotel in Mali in November last year. Both operations were carried out by an Al-Qaeda group. But while Mali has seen dozens of terror attacks by AQIM over the years, this is the first time the group has extended its operations to the neighboring Burkina Faso. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And a look now at some more international stories in our World Wrap. Delegates from Afghanistan, Pakistan, China and the United States are due to meet in Kabul today to further a 4-way dialogue aimed at bringing peace to Afghanistan. Taliban has so far given no indication whether it intends to join the renewed peace efforts. The 4-way contact group of senior diplomats held its initial meeting last week in Pakistan, underscoring the need for immediate resumption of direct talks between the Afghan government and the Taliban. The suicide bomber killed 13 people in the eastern Afghan city of Jalalabad on Sunday. The bombing was at the home of a tribal elder where people had gathered to celebrate his son's release from Taliban captivity. The son was killed and more than a dozen others, including his father, were wounded in the attack. There was no immediate claim of responsibility. Tornadoes touched down in Tampa and Siesta Key in Florida on Sunday, killing 2 people and injuring 4 children. Severe storms came in from the Gulf of Mexico, tearing through a mobile home park and peeling roofs of several buildings. The storms dumped heavy rains and blasted strong winds across the state's central Gulf Coast, but conditions improved during the day. And in the sports news now, India's bowlers produced another sloppy performance in Melbourne yesterday, allowing Australia to clinch the 5-match ODI series by taking an unassailable 3-0 lead. The hosts cruised to a 3-wicket victory in the third match despite a heroic century by Virat Kohli. India batted first to post a decent score of 295 for 6 in 50 overs. Virat Kohli scored a run of ball 117 en route his 24th ODI century. But the century went in vain as India's bowling attack lacked teeth. Chasing the target, Australia never looked in trouble. They achieved it with 1 over and 1 ball still remaining. Glenn Maxwell played a superlative 96 of 83 balls that had 8 fours and 3 sixes as the Indian bowlers once again undid the effort of the batsmen. The fielding also left a lot to be desired. Some more sports news in Sports Beat. The first Grand Slam of the year, the Australia Open kicked off in Melbourne today. The men's and women's defending champions Novak Djokovic and Serena Williams will take on their opponents in the first round today. Roger Federer will also be playing his first round. Among the Indians, Yuki Bhambri will play his first round match against Czech Republic's Tomáš Berdych. Justice Mukul Mudgal, who was appointed observer for the India vs South Africa Test match at Delhi last month, will submit his report to the Delhi High Court today. Justice Mudgal was appointed by the court after DDCA moved court when the state government did not give the requisite permission to hold the test match. Now the BCCI also wants Justice Mudgal to oversee the preparations for the ICC World T20, with Delhi set to host a number of games, including the marquee semi-final clash. Real Madrid trounced Sporting Gijón at the Santiago Bernabéu, putting pressure on Atletico Madrid and Barcelona at the top of La Liga. The team's revival under Zinedine Zidane continues as this was the French coach's second game in charge of his former side. The scoreline read 5-1 in Real's favour. That's it from us in this bulletin. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.